Miami.
In my dreams, I can hear the...
So this solo is just based on the C major scale, and if you look at your C chord in first position, just bring it all the way up here between 12 and 15. There's your C. And your C major scale. And then just take it up to the next octave, so you're going. And those are really all the notes you're going to need for this, except for this one little aberration. When they get to the F major 7, there's like a little, at the very end of the solo, I'll just bring that up to like an A to it. So it's like an A sharp to an A, and then there's maybe a D, C sharp little play. And I'll show you that in a second. But other than that, it's just... And you're not even going to have to go down here, so don't worry about that. This is as far as you'll go, is right here to this A. All right. So anyway, if you want to know the chords are basically, the chords are the first verse. So the first verse is, it just starts in a shadow. So this is just a D minor ninth. Those two notes, and a shadow. And this is in the other lesson there that does all the chords, where I figured out all the chords. And then you're going to throw this G over top of your D9. And that's a very crucial part of the whole song. But anyway, I'm not going to go over all the chords here, just check out the other video. But I'm just going to give you the basics so that you know where the solo is going. So, a shadow across the blue Miami sky, C6-9. As we hit the causeway by big hotels, we fought E minor 7. And now I can't remember. And this gets a little tricky. This a little 4-chord thing pretty quick. Remember why? So remember why? After all the words were said, the tears were gone. We vowed we'd never say goodbye. Okay? So, again, I'll refer you to my chord arrangement on that, but that's pretty tricky stuff where he just does this. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, so the solo is going to use a lot of slides because he's using some kind of strange organ, and you can figure out what that is. I can't, or I just haven't bothered to. But the bottom line is that a lot of these solos that Steely does, I just suggest that you use a lot of compressor. I use 2 compressors and get a real nice sustain, and so it's great for the sax solos like in FM and some of these other ones like Brooklyn, O's the Charmer, and Caves of Altamara. So anyway, you can check those out in my other videos. Anyway, but this is just basically to be starting on the slide because it's a lot of sliding. So you just C to D. Okay, and so that's the first little section. So. All right, so just basically right off this little. Right? But you're going to slide. So it's Whoa, Miami on that C6-9. So you're going, we walk between the raindrops back to your dawn. We walk between the raindrops back to your dawn. Whoa, Miami. And then C to D. and then the second, and then you're going to slide this G up to the A. So G to the D, okay? So G up to the A, G, E, D. Now, and I like to do some sliding here, so I go, and that's kind of what he's doing. And so again, this is an organ or whatever he's playing, it has a little funky sort of Wurlitzer sound, and so you're not going to get it to sound exactly like that, but you're going to have the notes and it sounds pretty good. So the first section, again, just to go backwards, is just and then the second one, you're basically going to take these same notes and you're going to do one more time. So you're just sort of working off of this. And then you're going to slide G to A. Again, this little C to D slide is all over this solo, if you ask me. So again, this first part, and the second part's and then you go, it's just like a leading into the third part, which starts right after that. Again, that's again, we're starting here on the C, so we're going and then back to the B, jump into the G, just these, that's it, and then built off that same thing but starting on the C, and then you're going to go, so you're going to, so the first is got it? And then this is where you're getting to the F major part that's about to go over the little. So that's where you're going to. So this is the part where, you know, you can sort of experiment with what you like, but it's just chromatics with a little bit of modulation built in, which is basically, you know, what they're doing with the chords. Just, you know, because you're going from an A13 to a G13. So you were, you know, literally basically doing lots of little chromatics. So you're going to. And that's going to lead you up to the fourth part. So you're doing that little chromatic. And then the last part, I consider this the last part. So you're just really using these three notes again with that D thrown in. So you're going. So you're going straight up here for the high E, to the A, to the C, and then you're going, so you're going, E, D, C, A, alright, so, and then the last part is just, and I think you can either go, or you can go, and that's pretty much the song. So let's see if we can play that for you real quick.
me once between the raindrops back to your door.
There you go.